Do you think you would accept this offer? I'm the Sixers, right? I propose to you, Ben Simmons.
Uh-huh.
In return, you give me ice cream. Do you think you would do it or no? Probably not, because that ice cream is too valuable.
I would take Ben Simmons over ice cream.
Not me.
This is All Sports All the Time, episode 111. Yeah, the old triple ones, as we like to call it.
Yeah. It's Snake Eyes with an extra one.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a snake with a third eye in the middle of its forehead. So, episode 111, there's a lot of sports to talk about. The last couple of weeks have been very sports heavy.
Very fun.
We might not get super off topic, but sometimes that's a good thing, you know? Luke is not here, so he won't be able to share this story, but we've got a quick story before we get into all the headlines. On last Wednesday, we tried to go to a Phillies game.
We tried.
It's pretty normal, right? Like, we got the tickets, we prepaid for parking, we had our pass, we had our tickets.
I had
ready
crashed.
to go. Yeah, Parker was doing a good job switching lanes on the highway, maneuvering, following the GPS. Took a couple of shortcuts that saved us, I think, a total of 16 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing well. And then 20 minutes out from the stadium, Luke gets a notification on his phone. My brain immediately went to maybe it's close to the MLB Trade Deadline. There was probably a trade. I'd been getting a couple trade notifications on my phone. And Luke sounded excited, whoa, guys. So I was like, oh, who got traded?
Well, I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw his face.
And what did it look like?
And it was like...
Not a good sign. Then he explained to us that the Phillies Nationals game had been postponed because the Nationals got COVID.
Yeah.
So we pulled into the saddest possible shopping center area. Very
I tried to go to the bathroom
rundown.
in Little Caesars, but there was no bathroom.
Yeah, that didn't work very well. There was also a crab-based restaurant and some type of daycare type thing. Anyway, that was where we stopped, and we had to regroup because obviously we were not going to a Phillies game that day, and we'll leave it there because the video is out now. By the time this podcast episode comes out, it will have been out for almost 2 days.
It's a good one.
Check it out if you haven't. We still had a good time. We made the best of a pretty frustrating situation. Drove all the way down to Philly. At one point, we ended up in New Jersey, actually, once we decided we weren't going to the Phillies game. So, yeah, watch that video. It was very entertaining for us and hopefully for you guys to watch.
And I learned that New Jersey is really close to Philly. I thought it was...
right next to it.
I thought it was just really close to New York.
Well, it is close. I think one of its borders is really close to New York as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, multiple borders. It's pretty handy.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's where
they also border the ocean.
Whoa. So it's like a, what do you call it? A tri-island or whatever when it's covered on 3 sides.
Triland. I don't know.
It's covered by water on 3 sides. It's not an island. Peninsula. So New Jersey's a peninsula.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. Maybe it only has 2 sides. I don't know. It could be a peninsula. We'll see. We actually won't see. I don't know why I said that. I'm not going to look that up. Parker also learned about, geography-wise, the Delaware Valley. We were in Philadelphia in the Delaware Valley, even though we weren't in Delaware.
It was very weird.
So, yeah. Let's jump into this week's headlines. Be sure to check out that Phillies video. A lot of stuff happened this week. So let's start off with the biggest of the sporting events, the Olympics. They only happen once every 2 years, but we had to wait 3 for the 2020 Summer Olympics. They are underway. The big headline was Simone Biles not participating in the gymnastics events. The MLB Trade Deadline also happened this week. It was the craziest MLB Trade Deadline possibly ever. The biggest deal was Max Scherzer and Trey Turner going to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The NBA Draft happened. The top 3 picks were Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, and Evan Mobley. Carson Wentz has a foot injury, and Russell Westbrook went to the Lakers. This is brought to you by J.G. Graybill. Also, when we went to the Phillies game, we passed J.G. Graybill.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting.
We got to see that.
I filmed it. I was recording as we passed J.G. Graybill, and my dad pointed out to me that while I captured the sign, I zoomed in on the wrong building. It's the other building to the left of it. But you guys get the idea, you know. It was exciting to go past the area where J.G. Graybill is. So, lots of sports stuff this week. Where do you want to start, Parker?
I don't know, man. I want to start everywhere.
Well, that's not how this works.
Okay, then we'll start with the most rare thing, which is the Olympics have begun.
Okay.
Because, you know, they only happen once every 4 years. The MLB Trade Deadline happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, Olympics are once every 2 years. Summer
No,
Olympics.
but Summer Olympics are once every 4.
Yeah.
So let's talk Olympics a little bit. You know, I was watching, let's see, I'll list what I watched. Triathlon. I watched this girl from... where was she from? It had a tropical blue flag. Was that the Bahamas? I think it was
Argentina?
Bahamas. No, Bahamas.
Okay.
So she won from the Bahamas. That was cool. I watched gymnastics a lot. I saw that girl from the U.S. Suni Lee won all around
star.
gold. The all around team, even though Simone Biles wasn't there, still got a silver, which was good. I was watching some weightlifting. You know, the Chinese and Japanese are really good at that, at least in the women's end.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, it was cool. They were like, it was crazy. They were like throwing it up, bang, and split squat. Yeah, it was crazy. Definitely, I could not do that. I watched some not equestrian, like the
horse dancing?
Yeah, the horse dancing. Yeah.
I saw like 5 seconds of that, and then
that.
I was like, I don't know about this. I feel like I could be watching something better.
I was watching the horse dancing. It was awesome. The USA stole silver from Great Britain.
They stole it?
Yeah, they were expected bronze. Like they
Wow.
were best case scenario bronze because Germany and Great Britain were like, you know, a top tier.
There, yeah.
But US got silver. Great Britain got third, and Germany.
Upset.
Yeah, in the horse category.
Wow.
The horse dancing. What else? That's a weird sport that we haven't like heard of.
Yeah.
Or didn't talk about. Oh, swimming. Caleb Dressel. Katie Ledecky is a beast. She just wins everything. Like, if it's over 400 meters, she's gonna win it.
Yeah.
She got
unstoppable.
She got second in the 200, but she won 400. She won 800. She won 1,500.
Yeah.
And
she's pretty good.
Definitely pretty good. What else?
Anything else?
Well, I also watched track and field, but that's still in the early stages.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, the only finals that there are is like the hurdles.
Yeah.
Soon, like after swimming is done, then that's when track and field comes for like the prime time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching pole vaulting. This guy
Ooh.
Casey Longfellow or Longbottom or something. Casey Long something. He is in the finals for pole vaulting.
Nice. Pole vaulting is insane.
Yeah, well, it was like 6.75 meters is what they jumped over.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
I think that's about it. Oh, basketball. We got to talk about.
Obviously.
So the U.S. is playing again right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys know the result of
the
this.
The women's 3v3 got gold, but
yeah, 3v3 basketball is really cool.
It is cool. It's.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, yeah. The U.S. is only winning by 4 over Czechoslovakia.
Great comeback, though. They were down 9 at one point.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So, yeah, I don't know what happens if they win this or not, but, like,
well,
hopefully... this
if
is
they win it, nobody's going to care, and if they lose it, everybody will destroy them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how that one's going to go.
You're right.
Yeah, I still think they'll win gold. Just because they'll...
I don't know, man.
I think they'll turn it on eventually.
I hope so.
If it comes down to it,
I hope so.
nobody has anyone that can go one-on-one with any of their top 5 players.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a lot more interesting this way, and it's good for basketball.
Yeah.
That
it is.
there are actually other countries that can compete with the U.S. That means that basketball in general has done a good job, like promoting the sport around the country. But yeah, for the U.S., we want everybody else to like basketball, but we also still want to be the best at it, and I don't think those two things can really happen. So we're either going to have good competition or we're going to keep destroying people.
True.
And the latter is not happening anymore. I watched a lot of the same events as you. I hadn't watched weightlifting or pole vaulting. I was really excited to watch handball because that's something we've played in phys ed for years. And I was really disappointed with it. It's much more boring than the handball we play.
It's because they're so good at like, all it is like you just have to get in front of the person and put your arms in the air.
They're too good at defense. So basically the way that they play is like 2 half-court games where everybody's kind of standing around passing until there's an opening to shoot.
Yeah.
Which isn't nearly as exciting as it's a bad version of handball we play in phys ed, but it's much more fun where everybody's running back and forth. There's like long passes, there's crazy shots. Like our brand of high school, middle school handball is much more exciting because it's not standing in the half court throwing it around. But that's probably just because they're so good at defense that it's hard to have like a fast-paced offense. I've watched a lot more volleyball than I expected. Just mainly the U.S., but I haven't watched that much Olympic volleyball. Like beach volleyball you tend to watch, but I don't think I had watched Olympic like indoor volleyball, 6-on-6.
I watched volleyball too.
Yeah. And it's so impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Like not only am I a little bit jealous of
awesome.
how tall they are, they can jump so high.
Through the roof.
It's ridiculous. Volleyball is probably one of my favorite things to watch in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Watch some track and field. That's kind of a staple. Same with swimming. I'm trying to think of any of the other. I watched a very intense ping pong match.
Oh, ping pong is crazy too.
One of the guys, it was the Russian guy playing against like an 18-year-old U.S. kid, and the Russian guy went all out to try to hit a ball and like very awkwardly, the way only a ping pong player can, fell through the barrier and like kind of bumped into the cameraman and they both went down. And because ping pong players are like athletic but not like that athletic, it was just very clumsy and hilarious. He didn't make the shot.
Wait, did the U.S. guy win?
No, he lost.
Dang.
I think he was ranked higher in like the world than the Russian guy, but I think the inexperience might have gotten to him. I think it was the first to win like 3 games.
Yeah, best of
3, and it was 2-1. So like they were pretty close. But yeah, the Russian guy falling through the barrier was the highlight. I watched 1 game of badminton. Yeah, the Olympics are cool. I haven't watched any of the Olympic baseball yet. I want to do that.
I watched some
baseball's
softball.
Back.
I watched
softball.
But the U.S. team, they lost in the finals.
Man, I should have watched that. I didn't even think about that. It is hard. The Olympics are like, you can't really watch them on a schedule.
I don't know when they're happening because it's like in Japan and it's like like most of the stuff they show in primetime is like replays of stuff. Like I don't know when it's actually going on. But I just checked my phone and saw the U.S. was playing right now. Like
and it's like, oh hey, great timing.
Yeah.
I wonder how people back in the day with the Olympics watched. Like you just turn on the TV and it's like, oh
no, think about
this is on.
Fans of the NBA overseas have to stay up. In India, they watch it at 2 a.m. Like if you're a fan of the NBA, ridiculous. You have to stay up till 2 a.m. just to watch the games.
I didn't want to stay up until 9 p.m. just to watch the finals. I think I watched like 2 finals games just because I was like, I'm not staying up that late. I'll just watch the highlights later. So that's dedication right there. So seriously, I would rather go to bed.
Dedication to sleep.
I would rather go to bed and watch the highlights when I wake up than watch a game. Now, if it were like the Sixers, but if it's any other team, I'm not staying up until like 12 o'clock just to see Game 3 of the finals.
Yeah,
it's just not worth it. I need sleep. I'm
when
a
it's
growing
on the
boy.
line, though. When it's on the line.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. then I probably would have stayed up if it had gone to a Game 7. But the Bucks won. So anyway, good for people overseas watching NBA games in the early morning. So yeah, that's the Olympics. I also am frustrated I haven't watched speed walking yet. That's such a great event.
Yeah. I saw a
watched
clip
that
of a
yet.
guy
It's
speed
frustrating.
practicing. I saw him practicing.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with the MLB Trade Deadline next. There's so much stuff to talk about. We could do a whole episode on it. Luke's not here, so basically I'm going to give Parker a rundown.
Okay, yeah. So wait, I have one question.
Okay.
The Phillies, right? They're not first in their division, but their division is bad.
Yeah.
And if they make the playoffs,
Mhm.
they probably won't go very far. So why are they
True.
trying to win? If they're not going to win the World Series,
Yeah.
like football, we wanted the Eagles to not even make the playoffs because
Mm-hmm.
they would get a better draft pick. Is that how it works with baseball?
Well, one, the draft isn't as beneficial to a team as the NFL draft is because, one, it's the success rate is less in baseball drafts.
If you were the number one pick, who has there been any good number one picks?
Oh, well, there have. But, the success rate is much lower. The good prospects in a draft are much more spread out
Okay.
throughout the rounds. It's harder to find a guy in the MLB draft than it is in the NFL draft. And also, even if you get a good guy, it'll take him probably 4 years to get to the majors. So your team could look way different by then, whereas in the NFL, they're going right in. So the draft pick isn't as important. And also the Phillies have the longest playoff drought in the National League.
Oh, really?
If they don't make it this year, they won't have made it to the playoffs in a decade. They're sitting on 9 years right now. So
Wow.
basically, their thought process is all of our best players right now are 27 to 31. So all of their players are in the middle to back end of their prime. This is the window. The division is not good. They're 3.5 games back of the Mets. So it makes sense to make a move and still try to win because they're not trying to win a World Series. They're just trying to get to the playoffs because they haven't done it in so long. It's just get there and then see what happens.
Okay.
If they were in a good division, yeah, they'd be done. They'd be selling because they have good pieces that they could sell.
Yeah.
But because they're still in the race and they could very easily make the playoffs, they added 2 pitchers.
So
very
wait,
exciting.
What happened? Freddie? Did they get Freddie?
They added
Oh.
Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy from the Rangers.
I've never heard
They
of
got basically they got a starter and a closer,
it. Okay.
which they needed. And then they also added Freddie Galvis, who was their shortstop for.
That's what I just said. Didn't they get Freddie?
Oh, I thought you. Okay, yeah.
What did you think
So-
I said?
I
Wait,
thought
what'd
you meant
think I
Freddie
said?
Freeman because he's a
Oh.
pretty famous baseball player, and Freddie
Oh.
Galvis isn't. But then now I'm remembering that I texted you and Luke about it.
Yeah.
Yes, they brought back Freddie Galvis, who's their shortstop from 2013 to 2017, the worst years some of the worst years the Phillies have had
Oh, okay.
recently.
So he was there through the drought, through the.
Yes,
the
he
hard
was there when
times.
they were rebuilding, and then he got traded.
Oh wow, that's sad.
Yeah, but now he's back. When the
Just
Phillies are a
just
little bit better.
Just like Nick Foles. Just like
Kind of.
What if Carson Wentz goes back to the Eagles because the Colts don't want him? They're like, this guy gets injured too much. The Eagles trade for him.
I don't think the Eagles would take
give
him back.
up a first round pick to get.
No, let's not go down that rabbit hole, please. But yeah, the Phillies are still in it. They made the bare minimum deals they had to make. They don't have good prospects. Well, they have a couple good prospects, but they don't have as many good prospects as most teams.
Is their farm
so
system not good?
it's not great.
Why?
It's pretty average because they haven't drafted very well.
Oh.
So they didn't have much. They didn't have many assets to go out and make a big deal. So they did what they could with what they had. The Mets, unfortunately, got Javi Baez from the Cubs.
Yeah.
So they now have the most electric middle infield of all time with Francisco Lindor and Javier Baez. Not exciting as a Phillies fan, but the Mets have a really fun team, so good for them. The biggest deal of the trade deadline was Max Scherzer and Trey Turner both going to the Dodgers because the Dodgers weren't loaded enough already.
Aren't they going to be crazy good?
Yes.
Wait, but aren't they not doing good though?
Well, they have like the second or third best record in the league.
Oh,
So by that standard, they're doing good. But yeah, they have Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, a couple other guys are banged up and like not completely healthy. So like the Dodgers have the second or third best record in the league, but still haven't hit their stride. So
holy cow.
they're actually behind the Giants in their own division. Somehow, the Giants just for no reason have been good this year. The Giants and the Red Sox have been shockingly good, but especially the Giants.
What did you project the Giants to be at, like record-wise?
I think the average like expectation of the Giants was that they'd be like a 500 team.
And
I think I had them around 500. They have the best record in the league.
What is it?
I don't know, but
Like 80 and 20?
I think they're going to be the first team to 70 wins probably.
Oh wow.
They're probably somewhere around like I would guess 70 and
Who do they have on their team?
35 or something. Well, that's the thing is they have a bunch of old guys who like all had a resurgence at the same time.
Really?
Like it's a bunch of guys past their prime who were declining and all of a sudden got better this year. So like they've got Kevin Gausman, they've got Evan Longoria, Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt. Like
I don't know any of these
a bunch of guys who were in their primes in like the mid 2010s who are all just like coming back into like being good. And
That's
the Giants have
crazy.
just been really good for no reason. And the Giants got Chris Bryant now.
Oh.
So, big addition for
Chris
them.
Bryant.
The Cubs sold everyone.
The Giants are like, hey, maybe we have a chance now.
Yeah, well, they do. They're probably going to be the top seed unless the Dodgers overtake them.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be shocking now that they have Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. People are kind of mad that the Dodgers always get the best players,
Why?
but
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, a team can have more money, so like, it doesn't seem fair.
well, they do have more money, but
Like, why?
they are able to trade for these players because they have the best prospects. So people are mad at the Dodgers, but it's really just like
Wait,
the Dodgers have such a good system. The Dodgers farm system
Yeah, but
is
why
the
does
best
that?
in the
Why
league.
does that matter?
It's
Like,
really good.
Why does that let them trade for?
Because in these trades you're giving up prospects.
Oh.
Like the Dodgers gave up their number 1 and their number 2 prospect
Oh. Wow.
to get Scherzer and Turner, which is like crazy. They gave up their number 1, their number 2, and some other guys. It's very rare that you give up that big of a package
Okay.
to get these guys. So the Dodgers do have a ton of money, but that helps you in free agency.
Yeah.
With trades, so normally the way it works in baseball is, I'll keep this brief. We're getting stuck on the trade deadline here. The way it works in baseball normally is there's like a progression of your team is good. Once you start getting worse, you have higher draft picks and like a better chance. You start focusing more on your farm system. You build up your farm system guys come into the big leagues, your team gets better again. And so it's like an inverse relationship between
It's
how
like a
good your
wave.
farm system is. Yeah, but it's like 2 waves, and when one is up, the other's down.
Yeah.
And then they cross and then switch. That's how your farm system and your major league team normally work.
And so this has been the Phillies.
Well-
Their record went downhill, but their farm system never went uphill. So
Well,
now they're just like
The weird thing with the Phillies is at one point their farm in like 2017, their AA team and their AAA team won the championships.
oh wow.
So like their farm system was good. I think it was top 5 at one point.
Huh.
And then just like most of the guys never panned out. So that's one of the reasons baseball prospects are so hard to like track and project. But what the Dodgers have done is there's no wave. Their farm system and their major league team have just been at the top for the last 15 years.
That's crazy.
And it's insanely
Is it just
impressive.
like they draft people?
Yes,
Like,
they
really good
draft
people?
so well.
Wow.
Yeah. And they've made some good free agent pickups because they have the money. But yeah, the Dodgers are the best run organization in baseball. There's plenty of other deals, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So you guys can find the deals if you're more interested in those. Or if you really want them that bad, maybe we can do a bonus episode. What do we if 5 people comment that they really want to hear more about the trade deadline? Because there's so much stuff that happened at the baseball trade deadline. It was the best one I've ever experienced. I've been seeing that it's the best one a lot of people have ever experienced. It was insane. So if 5 people comment they want to hear more about the trade deadline, we'll do that. The NBA draft, I'll leave this more up to you, but it was very exciting.
I watched the first round until the Sixers pick, which was 28.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I stayed up for like the top 10.
Yeah, I was kind of up for like a little while. But yeah, like expected, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green went 1, 2. Evan Mobley went 3. I think Cade Cunningham is going to be like kind of insane, like not going to lie. But
Cade Cunningham went to the Pistons.
Yeah.
So good for the Pistons.
Good for the Pistons.
They have something for once.
Something, yeah. Jalen Green went to the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets got, by the way, 4 people. They picked 4 people. If all those guys are all-stars, they're going to win.
It's as easy as that,
It's
folks.
as easy as
Just
that.
draft 4 all-stars.
Exactly.
Simple.
No, but overall, this year's draft class was really, really good.
Yes.
Like, a lot better than last year's, in my opinion.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. The Sixers got Jalen Springer, and I was very upset about that. I wanted them to draft Jared Butler, but, he fell because of a heart condition. But watch, he's going to be, like, insane, and the heart condition is, like, not going to affect him at all, and the Jazz just got, like, a steal at 40.
That's what the Jazz do.
That's what they do. But, anyway, some other guys I like. I think Jalen Green, I watched a video of him. He was, like, his dunking, he's, like, his head is, like, at the rim. It's, like, kind of insane.
His hair also helps. It makes it look like his head is higher.
Yeah. Hyou're right.
His hair is fantastic.
His hair is fantastic.
So,
Sharif Cooper. He's gonna be a beast. There's a ton of guys. This draft is like super deep. So I'm excited to see how this plays out.
The Orlando Magic got Jalen Suggs at 5.
Yeah.
Good for the Magic.
Corey Kispert went at 15 or something.
Yeah, a lot of people thought the Warriors would take him.
Yeah,
which would have been insane.
That would have been crazy.
But they
took Moses Moody.
Who? They took Moses Moody and another 18 or 19-year-old whose name I have trouble pronouncing.
The Thunder. The Thunder took some guy from Australia. Mm-hmm. They always do that. They always draft
That's the Thunder.
Yeah, and then they're always good.
No, they're not.
Well,
the Thunder are not always good.
No, I'm saying the players they draft are always good.
Yeah. And then they trade them for more draft picks.
Yeah, and then it's just an ever-repeating cycle until they. But I was seeing a report on the guy they drafted, the Australian guy, and it was one of the reports was can't handle the ball, needs to work on his defense, shooting is subpar. Doesn't have good court vision.
What are his strengths?
Exactly. I was like, what? He can't play basketball.
Okay, wait. So it said he couldn't shoot,
couldn't dribble,
he wasn't athletic,
couldn't play defense.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
Yeah. What else is there to do?
Does he have a good personality?
Oh, it said he was a bad on-ball defender, so he would have needed to be a really, really, really good off-ball defender.
The best off-ball defender you've ever seen.
Yeah.
What?
I know. It just ripped him apart. It was
Watch him be the best player in the draft.
I know.
Yeah, that's how it'll go. We're going to play a quick NBA draft game just to get sound bites. The sole purpose... We might just call this the soundbite game. We did it with the NBA draft. What am I saying? We did the soundbite game with the NFL draft, where basically you just say blank will be good and blank will not be good. Mm-hmm. And then you just have that clip so that if the guy is the opposite of what you said, you look ridiculous. And if he is that, you look super smart. So 50-50 chance here. I'll go first. Jalen Suggs will be really good.
Really? You're high on Jalen Suggs. Where do you think it's gonna pan out? All said and done.
Oh, out of this draft class,
Yeah.
I'll put him at number 2.
Behind Cade Cunningham.
Behind Cade, yeah. I'll put him ahead of Jalen Green though.
Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna say Cade Cunningham, but that's not a hot take.
That's boring. Yeah.
So Jared Butler will be good.
Okay, yeah.
But that's
your guy.
He's 40.
Your guy.
So give him 5 years. Okay, give him 5 years to get more playing time, more minutes. Just like Cade Cunningham's going to have right off the bat. He'll have to work for it. But give him a couple years.
Also, Jalen Springer will be good just because he got drafted by the Sixers. So
Yeah.
that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley will not be good.
Really? There's always like
because he's going to Cleveland. So
true.
the Cavs will just destroy him.
Well, and like didn't Cleveland have like a bunch of big guys at one point in last season, and then they traded them all away?
Yes.
And now they just drafted another big guy.
Cleveland
like
and
so
the Knicks had
confusing.
like kind of the same thing going where they had like 4 or 5 power forwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They had like JaVale McGee, Andre Drummond at one point. They had like
Yeah. Well, they had to clear space to draft Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
That was why they traded all of them,
yeah.
obviously.
like it doesn't make sense. Whatever. I think they
It's
should
the
have drafted
Cavs.
like a shooting or small forward or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, we'll see about Evan Mobley. I was gonna say Moses Moody will not be good. I don't know why. I don't know.
Interesting.
I was just the way he plays, his style. I don't think he's gonna be efficient. Is what I was telling Owen earlier.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna like shoot the ball. He's super athletic, but I don't think everybody in the NBA is super athletic. So
That's true.
it's just gonna be tougher.
Yeah. And if you're not efficient, it's difficult to be. He'll be like maybe the
It's difficult.
6th option
Yeah.
on the Warriors.
It's difficult to consistently get time if you're not consistent.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the soundbite game. Carson Wentz has a foot injury. We don't need to talk about that a ton because not all the details are out. But basically, the Colts are worried he could miss a lot of time, and that's bad for the Colts, obviously. But it's also bad for the Eagles because if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the Colts snaps this year, and they make the playoffs, or just 75% of the snaps, then the Eagles get a number 1 draft pick from the Colts or a first-round draft pick instead of a second-round draft pick. So that's pretty important. My favorite thing I saw from that on social media was Pro Football Focus. As soon as the injury happened, they put out like I think 5 different trade options for the Colts. Like what can they do as a backup plan? And the
Nick
first
Foles.
option was trade for Nick Foles. And that would just be so perfect.
It would be.
Carson leaves Philadelphia, clean slate, it's all good, and then
Gets injured.
the 3rd time in his career
Yeah.
he gets injured and Nick Foles replaces him. That would be
That
so
would be
comedically perfect.
Hilarious. That would be so funny.
Imagine getting hurt 3 times and the
know.
same guy replacing you 3 times.
I know.
On
like,
2 different
two
teams.
different
Like, that'd be so messed up. The Colts won't do it, but it would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be so funny.
Um,
And our last headline: Russell Westbrook was traded to the Lakers. Crazy. Well, I don't get what
Yeah.
Washington's doing. Like, why are you trading away Russell Westbrook but not Bradley Beal?
well,
doesn't-
because Bradley Beal wants to be there.
Yeah, but why? They're gonna be terrible.
I don't know why they want Bradley Beal still, and I don't know why Bradley Beal wants to be there. So both sides seem to be a bit delusional.
Yeah. Maybe he's like Giannis, but like he doesn't have a good team. He's like
Yeah, Giannis at least had a reason to believe that they were close, whereas Bradley Beal can't make it out of the first round with the Wizards.
And now they traded away Russell Westbrook.
But now he has Kuzma, so
Yeah,
you
not
know.
Kuzma,
KCP
Caldwell Pope, and
and Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell. Like, what?
And a first-round pick.
But you give up Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. This was kind of a weird lose-lose trade.
Yeah.
Because the Wizards got worse, and I think the Lakers didn't get worse. Because when you're adding Russell Westbrook, it's hard to get worse. But the Lakers didn't really get that much better either.
I don't know. I think the Lakers are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Because I think
Really?
even though Russell Westbrook can't shoot, he gets so many assists every night. And he, as the leading point guard, like, he's going to be able to assist Anthony Davis, LeBron James. And the spacing won't be terrible because Russell Westbrook is really the only one that can't shoot very well. Anthony Davis, as their main big, can stretch the floor and create spacing. And LeBron can shoot threes as well. So I don't think it'll
But LeBron doesn't want to be, like, the best three-point shooter.
No, there'll be other guys too.
The best formula is LeBron and 4 shooters.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best you can get. Backup plan, you would think, ideally, would be LeBron, Anthony Davis, and 3 shooters. Now we're down to LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and 2 shooters if Anthony Davis is the only big.
Yeah.
It gets difficult.
Yeah, because LeBron is good going in the rim. But I don't know. I guess we'll see if it works out.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook is also good going to the rim too, though. So
I think that the Lakers, this is a good regular season move for them because as we've seen, Anthony Davis is injury prone. LeBron's getting older. He's going to want to take more games off. So this will be good for them in the regular season because on a night where it's like, hey, AD and LeBron are both out, Russ can maybe carry you to a win. So it'll probably help their regular season record just adding another star to carry them for a couple games when some of the other guys are out. But in the playoffs, it's going to get really difficult because they don't have enough shooting.
yeah,
I would have rather they traded for Buddy Hield, those were the rumors
yeah,
before the whole Westbrook thing came
Yeah.
up. Buddy Hield would have been a great move for them.
would have been really good. But I hope we get Buddy Hield maybe.
I hope the Sixers get Buddy Hield would be like the backup plan. Obviously, the Sixers would like to get Bradley
do you
Beal
know
and
where
Damian
Buddy Hield
Lillard
went
are
to
like the
college?
top two,
Oh, yeah.
but Buddy Hield would be a nice plan B.
Do you know where he went to college? Buddy Hield.
Oklahoma.
Do you know where he's from?
Oklahoma.
No, the Bahamas.
I didn't know that.
I know, right? That's cool.
I do remember him being really good in March Madness.
Yeah, he was crazy good. It was awesome.
What number does Buddy Hield wear?
BUDDYHIELD 10.
24.
Wait,
I think he wore 24 in college,
like
too.
Kobe.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What number does Bradley Beal wear?
Number 2, like Kobe.
So close.
Oh.
Number 3.
Dang it! I thought you were going with this Kobe thing.
No. What about Russ?
Russ, he's like a 0 kind of guy.
Yeah! Russ wears 0.
Yes.
1 for 3. Nice. Not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all. So Westbrook and the Lakers, that'll be interesting. Ben Simmons didn't get traded. We thought he was finally going to get traded.
Not me. You thought. Don't say we. Me and Luke. Remember when we did that?
Well, you
segment?
guys said he's not going to get traded at all. I mean, like there were rumors like the Sixers are going to trade him at the draft.
No,
And that didn't happen.
I knew that it wasn't gonna happen.
I still think they're going to trade him.
For what?
I hope for something
for
good.
Peanuts?
I hope for something good enough.
Do you think you would accept this offer? I'm the Sixers, right? I propose to you, Ben Simmons.
Uh-huh.
In return, you give me ice cream. Do you think you would do it or no? Probably not, because the ice cream is too valuable.
I would take Ben Simmons over ice cream.
Not me right now.
Really?
His draft stock is
You're
way-
so low
It's-
on Ben Simmons right now. though.
Yeah, because
He's still an all-star caliber player
no, he's
in
not.
his prime.
No, 6 points. 6 points. Come on.
In the playoffs,
Yeah,
in the regular season, he's
that makes
very
it worse.
good.
But it doesn't
He's-
matter about regular.
He's the best defender in the league. So that has to count for something.
No,
And
Matisse
he's-
is better. Matisse is better.
And he's assisted the most threes in the league. Like imagine if he went to Golden State. They would then have the defense of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Ben Simmons. And Ben is the best three-point assister in the league.
Yeah, but it wouldn't work because Ben Simmons just wouldn't work.
What?
Because Ben Simmons.
Golden State would be so good if Ben went there. I don't want him to.
Moses Moody is now the new
my
Ben
word.
Simmons.
Who do you think's better, Moses? Would you rather have Moses Moody or Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons.
Okay, all right. I wanted to see where you would cross the line.
Yeah, I can't.
Good call.
I can't.
Good call.
Not in front of the camera.
You'd rather have Ben Simmons than Moses Moody.
Yeah.
Yep, makes sense. Those are the headlines. Let's move on to some fantasy football talk.
Oh yeah, it's
We
getting to
love
that time of
fantasy
year.
football.
Getting to that time of year.
We're gonna do fantasy football talk every week in August before the football season starts. Obviously, this is coming out on August 2nd, so we are kicking it off without Luke with quarterbacks. We're not going to give you guys our rankings because that would, one, be too tedious.
Well, and two, I don't want Owen to know my secrets.
Okay, yeah. Parker's amazing secrets that helped him win last year.
No, it
our
literally
league.
was my drafting that led me to that win. I'm serious.
Oh, it was, but I don't think it was secrets.
my drafting was
So
kind
much.
of insane.
But yeah, we're gonna start off with the quarterbacks, and basically all we're gonna do is give you guys, because the fantasy draft is not about rankings. it's about where you're picking and getting the best value out of that spot.
Yes.
It's not necessarily just
like in
where
my
you
case, picking
get
Alvin
somebody ranked.
Kamara in my position was the best value.
Yeah, this is
Also,
the concern about doing fantasy football talk.
when I
Parker
drafted-
is never going to let this go.
When I drafted A.J. Brown in round 3, and he ended up being a top 5
Yes.
wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You good now,
That's,
or do you have
that's
more?
value. That's
You have
value.
more? Okay.
Oh, also, drafting in free agency James Robinson, an undrafted player, picking him up and trading him, flipping him for DK Metcalf, another top 5 wide receiver. Also, in round 5, when I drafted Dak Prescott, and for like solid 6 weeks, he was insane. And then he got injured. But the value was there for those 6 weeks. It would have been even crazier with him if he wouldn't have gotten injured. Where else? Who did I draft second round? Julio, man. That was just average. All right, we can move on now.
So we're each going to give you... I just want to see how far you would go. We're each going to give you one quarterback who we think is underrated and one quarterback who we think is overrated. So do you want to start with a more positive or more negative?
Let's start negative, get it out of the way.
All right, who's overrated, Parker?
I'm going to go with... wait, I forgot mine. Can
Based
you go
on the
first?
rankings. So I'm on ESPN's quarterback rankings for PPR.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Kyler Murray.
Mm.
Okay, he's ranked 3, but the guys around him, Josh Allen at 4 is Dak Prescott, 5 is Lamar, 6 is Russell Wilson, 7 is Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of those guys will be better than him, so I think he is more closer to 7 and 8 than he is to 3. So even though he's like really good, he's got the best. What do you call it? Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, or one of them. You can argue.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think that he should be 3. I think he should be like a little lower than that.
Overrated for me, Ben Roethlisberger. ESPN has him at 16. I think he should be closer to like the early 20s.
Yeah.
People behind him, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Baker, Tua,
Well,
Deshaun
everything
Watson.
except Baker. You know, Baker doesn't really.
Baker's going to be better than Ben Roethlisberger.
No, Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball
Back
more.
to the Baker Browns hate, but whatever, you know. Yeah, Baker's not going to be the best fantasy quarterback because the Browns are such a dominant running team. But
They are a dominant running
Ben
team.
Roethlisberger is overrated at 16. He did all right last year because the Steelers were throwing the ball like 40 times a game.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen as much
Well,
this
that's
year.
why I when I draft QBs, I just like teams that throw the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Like last year when I drafted Dak Prescott, like they just threw the ball every single play.
Yeah, that probably won't be to that extreme, but yeah, I get the concept. So Big Ben is overrated. Underrated. Which quarterback do you have?
Yeah. So I have 2 of them.
Oh,
One is higher up and one is lower down. Derek Carr at 25, I think he's going to be way closer to like 16 or 17.
that's a good one.
Like Derek Carr, I don't know why he's that low, to be honest. Like, I don't know, man. And if Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson actually plays an entire year, obviously
He's not gonna be
gonna
23rd.
Yeah, but that's just like a really like.
You might want to pick him as your backup
Yeah,
because that's risky.
if you have a good number 1, maybe you can get Deshaun at number 2. Because that's super risky. But my higher up is Aaron Rodgers. Now that we know that he's going to be with the Packers,
Yep.
7 seems a little too low for him. Like I think he's definitely got to be top 5.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Rodgers is just a beast.
Well, because Randall Cobb is back, and that's
Yeah,
going to make such a
that's-
huge difference.
No, but seriously,
It's
Randall Cobb, he loves Randall Cobb.
yeah, but Randall Cobb isn't that good.
But they have Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but I can't get over the fact that Randall Cobb is the reason Aaron Rodgers came back.
I know.
That shows
That's
you
kind of funny.
That shows you how not spoiled Aaron Rodgers has
Yeah.
been. That he's
happy over Randall Cobb.
yeah, the wide receivers he's had, he's like, you know what? Randall Cobb is an upgrade here. That shows you what he's been working with in his career
And
with
he's
the
still
Packers.
insane. He's still insane.
Yeah, that's why Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
How many championships does he have?
No, it's not about championships.
Oh,
it's about who's a better player.
Sure.
It's about who's a better player.
Who's a better player? Yeah, Tom
Aaron-
Brady.
Aaron
because he leads
Rodgers.
his team to championships.
Aaron Rodgers is better.
No.
It's good to have you back, Parker. Last week I was with Luke, obviously, because you were on vacation, and there were 2 times where I said something, and I, for some reason, just automatically got, defensive, because I assumed he would disagree with me. And he's like, no, that good point. And I was like, man, this is weird. Tom Brady, I won't take credit for this. This term was coined by myself and one of our friends. I'll tell you afterwards. I think it'll surprise you. Ghost. Tom Brady's not the GOAT, he's the ghost. He's the greatest of some time. Because he's not... This goes along with my anti-GOAT thing. I think it's a little simpler than my anti-GOAT. When I said anti-GOAT, I said there's going to be better players throughout space and time. But he's the ghost because he's the greatest of a certain time period. Greatest of some time. So, Joe Montana was the ghost of, the 80s. And then John Elway. And then early 2000s, there really wasn't, one guy.
No.
And then Brady, and then Rodgers, and then Mahomes.
No. I have to disagree.
They're all ghosts.
No.
They're the greatest of a time period.
Yeah, but I would say Tom Brady, his time period is from 2003 to right now. He's still the ghost.
He's the greatest of that. I would say Rodgers has been better than Brady.
No.
In the 2010s.
How many championships has he won?
That's not how
Yes,
I'm measuring
it is.
it. We're measuring it differently.
Well, you need to measure it the correct way.
That's why he's
Being
the
able
ghost.
to lead a team.
Because you can't say they're the greatest of all time when they played in different time periods. Now, Brady and Rodgers, it's much more similar. But in the general scope, Tom Brady's the ghost. He's a ghost, not the ghost. He's one of the ghosts.
But he's the main.
It's an exclusive club. There's probably only 10 ghosts.
One of them.
He's not the one GOAT.
One of them is that guy that played for the Jets.
Mark Sanchez?
No.
Joe Namath?
No. Oh yeah, Joe Namath.
Joe Namath was not good.
Really?
But people think he was good because he won that one championship.
Why was he not good?
Because his stats were terrible. I think he threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns in his career.
Wasn't everybody terrible though?
Well, true. Nobody was as good as quarterbacks now. But that actually proves my point. People think Joe Namath was great because he won that one championship. He was not a good quarterback.
Well, I didn't think he was great. I just thought that
You thought he was a ghost.
Yeah.
What were we talking about before that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, underrated.
Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers underrated. Yeah. All right, what's
Yeah.
your underrated?
My underrated is Matthew Stafford. He's at 13, and I just think if Jared Goff could be an average fantasy quarterback with this Rams offense and Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford is not going to be an average fantasy quarterback with
You're definitely
Sean McVay and this Rams offense.
You're definitely higher than me on Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
But I don't think Matthew Stafford's bad either. So yeah, I would have to agree with that.
I think Matthew Stafford will be a top 10 fantasy quarterback because the Rams offense has been so good, and that's with Jared Goff just managing to not throw interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's really what he did. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, is a great quarterback, and I just think he'll really take their offense to the next level.
I don't see him. I think Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, like I said before, is the same level. Matthew Stafford's not
I think Matthew Stafford is way better than Jared Goff.
No, I don't.
I think Jared Goff looked a lot better because he was in that Rams system where Sean McVay set everything up for him. When he's in Detroit, you'll see how bad he is on his own with Dan Campbell. Just don't.
We'll see.
Who cares about the scheme? Just be tougher than them guys, is Dan Campbell's philosophy.
Yeah, true.
Whereas Sean McVay will set up a perfect screen for you where all you have to do is throw it to the receiver 5 yards away, and then you get 20 yards out of it. So
maybe.
We'll see.
Matthew
Stafford, underrated.
Who are you aiming for this year in your draft?
Honestly, Matthew Stafford is a guy.
I'll have to. Is there any
going
other
for.
Guys? Because I'll just draft all of them.
Yeah.
Rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I'm looking to get. I like to wait on the quarterback.
Yeah. Well,
because
I usually do too, but last year,
it worked out for you.
Well, yeah, because he was I had said to myself before the draft, if Dak Prescott is there, round 5, I'm taking him.
I didn't draft a quarterback until the 8th round last year. I got Daniel Jones, it was terrible for 4 weeks. But then I picked up Justin Herbert, and he was insane.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I told you before the season that Daniel Jones was gonna be terrible.
Oh, I know.
But you didn't listen to me.
Well, I had him because he was better than the other options at that point.
Well, was he?
Unfortunately,
you could have drafted Justin Herbert right off the bat.
Well, yeah, but Justin Herbert wasn't starting yet. Remember, Tyrod Taylor was starting, and then his lung got punctured.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and then we did a whole thing on that with Luke and punctured lungs, and you can go back and watch it if you want. Yeah, I'm also looking. I'm looking at like the 8 to 13 range. Herbert, Brady, Hurts, Tannehill, Burrow, Stafford.
Yeah.
I would say that's like the sweet spot where I'd be looking for guys.
Yeah, those second-year QBs, they could really bring.
Yeah. Once you get past, like, Ben Roethlisberger, basically, is when you start to get, I don't know about these guys.
Matt Ryan, also, in my opinion, is underrated. Like, he's got weapons, and they throw the ball. It's like Dak Prescott. I love him because they throw the ball all the time.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is going to be very good if he stays healthy.
Yeah, true.
That's kind of a safer pick because, he's going to get you a decent amount every game.
And he's a good quarterback.
He is. He's definitely better than some of the guys he's near on the list, like Ben Roethlisberger, Daniel Jones.
Well, and Trevor Lawrence hasn't played yet.
I don't understand why Justin Fields is so high. Like, what does Justin Fields have to work with? Nothing against Justin Fields, but it's like he can run.
That's why.
And he's got Allen Robinson.
Look at how high Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 QB, but he can run.
Yeah.
So that's why I
still feel like 19's a bit high for Fields, but
yeah,
if you want to take a flyer, again, I think Fields would be a good pick.
I think 21 at 21 Baker Mayfield.
Oh my word,
that's way too.
All right, well that was fantasy quarterbacks. Let's end that right there. We don't need to talk about that anymore. I feel like whenever you start talking bad about the Browns, I'm just gonna throw up that clip I have of you wearing the Browns shirt, saying the Browns are the greatest team ever.
No.
I just have that in my back pocket forever now. And it's great. Oh, man. Time for the Atlantic League update.
I still don't know how they beat the Steelers.
The first half...
That doesn't make any sense to me.
...is over. So these are the final first half standings. The Long Island Ducks in the North Division with a commanding 6-game lead. 34-21. They went on quite a run at the end of the first half. They now have the best record in the league.
The
Legends have fallen off a bit. Still in first place in the South. They're 32-22. The High Point Rockers made a push. They finished the first half over 500. Gastonia Honey Hunters 26-30, and then the West Virginia Power have been awful. They're 21-34.
Yeah, they're bad.
Dead last. In the North, the Long Island Ducks have started pulling away with their amazing stretch the last couple of weeks, but the battle for second, third, and fourth is still pretty interesting. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are 28-27, whereas the Barnstormers are 28-29, so that one's close. And then the York Revolution are 25-32, which isn't great, but still within striking distance. Yeah. They're only 4 games back of the Barnstormers, 5 games back of the Blue Crabs. And also, for the second half of the Atlantic League, the pitching rubber will be moved. Because
what does that mean?
The Atlantic League is the experimental ground. Yeah, yes, that's the perfect way to describe it. They're the testing ground for Major League Baseball. So they have the electronic strike zone. And they're also going to experiment with moving the mound back.
What?
Because
Why?
pitchers are throwing so hard.
Oh.
They think that moving the mound back. I think they're moving it back a foot. I think they're making it 61 and 6 inches.
But isn't that's see, this is where baseball messes up again. Because
so you want them to try to fix stuff, but then you get upset when they try to fix it?
No, listen, because the way they're trying to fix it is just messed up. Even I know this, and I'm not even a scientist. If you've been hitting off these pitchers from the same distance every single time, right? And then you all of a sudden move it back a foot. They're not gonna they're gonna be confused. The batters.
It's gonna be easier for the batters because they'll have more time to react.
Yes, they will have more time to react, but they've been used to this way of hitting, and so then when they move it back, it's like trying to hit a softball. It's like
it's easier.
No, you move it back. and your timing is thrown off the entire thing.
No. Well, okay. As a hitter, you don't have that much timing. Like the pitcher's whole job, half of the pitcher's job is to throw off your timing.
I guarantee.
That's why they have off-speed pitches. So
I
that if it
guarantee
was just
you,
fastballs,
the percentage of batters
they're messing up your timing.
that they're gonna be early is gonna be crazy, like on their swings.
Well, probably like the first game or so, but they'll figure it out pretty quickly.
I don't know.
As a hitter, you're not expecting the same speed all the time. So like your timing is never
true.
consistent.
True.
You have to be able to adjust.
Yeah.
I think it'll be harder for pitchers. Cuz like with your breaking ball,
Oh yeah.
you
that's
know
True.
most of the time where it's going to start, where it's going to hit, and where you're going to have it land. When it's moved back a foot, you have to try to adjust like your release point to still try to get it to drop where you want, to try to get the spin that you need to get it there. Yeah, I think it'll be fastball. It won't be as hard, but a breaking ball trying to get it to the location you want might be a little difficult. But again, it's all about adjusting. I think they'll be able to adjust to it relatively quickly,
It's only a foot.
and that's really what the Atlantic League wants to try.
Yeah.
We already talked about J.G. Graybill, so I'm used to doing the J.G. Graybill ad read a little bit later, but we
Yeah.
talked about them after the headline. And also, watch the video so you can see the building next to J.G.
J.G.
Graybill. But you get to see the sign.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you can envision
Isn't that a song?
the concept of...
I saw a sign and it opened up my eyes. I think that's.
I don't know that song, but
It's in
it sounds
Pitch
like
Perfect.
it could be a song. Well, that explains why I don't know it.
You've never seen Pitch Perfect?
No.
I don't know why I've seen Pitch Perfect, to be
Because
honest.
you have two younger sisters.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't have any sisters,
Yeah,
so
true.
we don't really.
Yeah.
We haven't watched that.
Oh, I watched Space Jam the other day.
Really?
Well, it was in my head. I
my word.
envisioned Space Jam.
Okay.
Well, I envisioned it for 2.5 hours.
I was excited. I was like, "Oh wow, what did you?" Okay. No.
But I came up with the plot.
Didn't you do that last time?
Yeah, but I envisioned
This
it.
one's revamped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hit me.
Okay. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Michael
Main
Jordan,
character.
Bugs Bunny, and Lola Bunny. The three of them, they beat the other team, and Michael Jordan gets his food back. I think instead of a kid, he gets his food. I think
That's it. That's
yeah.
your revamp.
Yeah, that was what I envisioned. I went to sleep dreaming about
You
that.
envisioned that for 2.5
Yes.
hours.
Yeah. Is that a good plot summary?
I mean, they do win. Spoiler alert, obviously. But I don't think. No, Jordan doesn't get food back.
No Cocoa Puffs
That's
or
not
anything?
what it was. No.
No. What does he get back?
You'll just have to watch it to find out.
Oh man. Does he get like his life back? Like he can't play in the NBA?
You'll have to watch to find out. Episode 111 next week. Parker and Luke are on their own again.
Oh yes.
Second time in 4 weeks.
It's gonna be fun.
We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it comes out on a Monday this time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Adios, amigos.